Hey everybody, it's Mark Ruggiero, Clark Commando 1983 here. And we're gonna do turn one, the September 2nd, 1943 turn of the advanced game of Anzio from Avalon Hill. We're finally kicking off. For those of you who've been following along, I know you've been patiently waiting. So I'm going to go over a few things. I've said it a few times, so let's see if I get my thoughts in order. So the setup's done. First and foremost, I'm playing the advanced game. I'm going to play it as long and as far as as long as I'm having fun. And I did go over a couple of little housekeeping and other things first. So first things first, if you look here, I'm going to use my pencil as a pointer. I've laid out the initial Allied units that are available. You can pretend they're in Sicily. They start with 2 port counters. They have naval, and they also get, and almost forgot, they get 3 air factors. So let me pull that out really quick. They're just numerated by little number 1s. Is air support. They don't get any naval support on invasion turns, but it does say that they get 3 points of air available in their turn. Okay, so this will be Allied turn 1. The other thing we're going to note is, as I've said a few times, I will be doing the historical landing at Salerno. The difference between the basic game and the advanced game is normally there's 13 invasion areas actually available to the Allies. So you could land at any of them. Now, let's see if we can let's look at this first. I also marked with my bingo chips that I've talked about a couple times. The Germans get air superiority until an airfield is captured, which you have Foggia over here, Naples over there, the 3 hexes of Italy, and then up here off site you have Pisa. So once one of those fall, the next Allied turn, the Germans do not have air superiority. What air superiority does is any invasion north of this fold in the map here, any attack where the German units majority are north of this fold, they get a 1-column shift on any counterattacks. Also, I'll note that I read the Gustav Line article, or a lot of it, and I've mentioned this issue volume 16, issue number 1 of the General has a pretty neat article on the comparison of the forces available, etc. So, that being said, I'm also going to play on the assumption that I'm doing the long game. So the first thing that's going to happen, and I want to say I bought, like I said, I have a couple copies, and in one of them I found these neat little cheat sheets which have different movement, weather effects, air support, and also little terrain effects cheat chart, so you don't have to look. So that was kind of nice. Didn't have a name on it, and I don't know if it was done by the person that originally I bought it from or what. So that being said, I'm going to land at Salerno. One of the things I want to do is, let me see if I can zoom in enough. Oh, my feet are so swollen right now. It's ridiculous. Anyways, you don't want to hear about that. Let's see if I can zoom in on Salerno. Let's see, where's Salerno? Right there, huh? Let's do this. I try to zoom in. Whoops. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can zoom in enough where you can see read the left and whatnot, watch the invasion. Zoom out just a little bit more. Let's see if that works. So we got the Gulf of Salerno. So what you're concerned about when the invasion, let's see if we can see it here. Whoops, yes, looks like we can. So there's an initial lift of 20 stacking factors, capacity at 24, that's how many stacking points it can supply. And I'll go over the rules on activating a port, and then the build-up value is 8. There's a lot of beaches here with, let's see here, lower initial lifts, lower capacities. It looks like Salerno, it's not your only choice, and it is the one I'm using. So I'm going to leave this zoomed in. Let's move the camera a little bit. Let's see here. So you can watch the invasion in action. Hopefully that's enough. So the first thing we're going to do is execute the Allied movement phase. And let me say up front, if you enjoy this, please like, subscribe. Look forward to comments. If I make a rules mistake, like I said, I'm playing the advanced game, which incorporate none of the advanced game supplemental rules, but the advanced game says to incorporate all of the basic rules and the supplementary basic rules, and then of course the advanced rules. So the first thing that's going to happen, and let's see here, I'm going to also try to put, well, let's see, that's a little too much. I wanted to put the die roll, or maybe I'll zoom back out when it comes to die rolls. We'll see. All right, so the first thing that happens, we get an initial lift of 20 stacking factors we can invade with. So let's go with, let's see. By the way, you didn't see it, but well, yeah, you did early on. So that's 3. I'm going to do some Brits here. Let's see, 3. 6. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. So I've got here so far, I'll go over what I have. So 3, 6, and then we're going to land. No idea who landed historically. That's 10. 14, I got the 45th and 36th Infantry Division from the U.S. That's 8 stacking points. I got the 5th and the 46th so far from the Brits. So that's 8 plus 6 is 14. I can do 6 more stacking points. So let's see here. And everybody's going to have 3 movement points. So let's go ahead and land 2 more British divisions. And I could land some, well, let's see. If I do 1 more, that's another 3 stacking points. That's 9, 17. And let's go ahead and land a commando. Where's the commandos at? 3, 6, 3, 6, 9, 13, 17, 18. And we'll land the Rangers. 3, 6, 9, 17, 18, 19. And I want to note that you can only use British and American units on invasion turns. We got one more point to land. Since we're not dropping the airborne, let's go ahead and land the airborne regiment for 20. So that's my initial lift. So we've picked Salerno. And what the rules say for the Italians, they either defect or they are removed from the board, except for the 185th. There's one unit that stays loyal to the Germans. So let's go to that. That is under the advanced rules, I believe. Let me look. The Italian Army. Only the 185th Regiment stays with the Germans. And the 185th Regiment is located. I'll find it when I go through them. Where is it? Okay, so you go off of where you land. I'm going to land in Salerno. It says do it after the invasion. So I'm going to do the invasion first, but before combat. It gives them a chance to move. And I think, I covered that. I did mark the air thing. So what happens during an invasion, so the stacking limit, by the way, is 7. So I'm going to land, you can land on any plane hex. They have 3 movement points. So that'll be 1. Let's see what you guys can see. Yep, 1. And we want to go towards Naples. 2, 3. That's as far as he can go. He'll land here also. 1, 2, 3. Just want to establish a little line there, I think. And we'll go ahead and stack the airborne with him. And the Ranger, one thing that's unique, because this is a learn to play, is you pay the hexide costs for the when you move. So it's not necessarily what's in the hex, but the hex sides. So that's kind of unique. All right, and then we're going to want to expand. With the Brits, we're going to land here. We're going to go 1, 2, be on the mountain there. I think that might be beneficial. Or maybe we land here and we're going to be on this side of the river. 1, 2, 3. How about that? And we get a little Zot going. 1, 2, 3. And 1 on the road here. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And then the commando. Oh, crap. 1. Actually, better go here with this guy. Yeah, I can go 1, 2, because it's clear. And the commando will land, has 4 movement points. And we'll go ahead and put that with this guy here. So there's your initial landings, okay? No idea if it's great, bad, who knows, we'll see. Excuse me, we'll see what it looks like. I think I may see a mistake already. We're going to go ahead and the port markers, you can, the initial landing you're in supply and whatnot for turn 1. But after that, you have to have a port marker. So it will be under construction, and then it will be flipped. So I'm going to put it upside down. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to draw on the back of mine. So this is a under construction port. And at the beginning of the next Allied turn, it will be in operation and be able to supply, assuming the Germans can't get a Zoc on it or recapture it. We're going to place it right there. So I believe that's all legal. And now we're going to go through and roll for the Italians. And the Italians are based on where the invasion happens. So Salerno or the East Coast, all units disband except for the Roma garrison, which defects on a roll 1 through 4. So we're going to roll. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through each Italian unit. And of course, the 185th stays loyal to the Germans. So over here in Foggia, we've got, let me look under my light here, the Legato. So that he's gonna defect, or not defect, he's gonna disband. And then we'll go down here to the south of Italy, X71. Boy, I gotta get my, until it's early in the morning. So that unit disbands. That's the 185th. So he stays with the Germans. That makes that easy. The rest of these Italians, except for we're going to roll for what's in Rome. We're going to disband and then go home. So that's in Rome. Let's make sure I'm doing that right. Except for the Roma garrison. Oh, that's actually 6 units. And I think I just took 2 of them off. So let me check, and I will put those back. Let me look. It's over on the Allied organization card. Yeah, so the area gets to go back, which was right here, until we roll. See what happens. You're right there. Let's double check that. F46, A, B, C, D, E, F. 46. Okay. And then I think I mistakenly, I got 5 there. I got 1 more I got to put back. Okay, let's see here. I got to be able to read, don't I? Ariat. I'm going to get my magnifying glass out. I can't wait till I get my better lighting going here. Let's see. I-44, that's who it was. Is this guy? Okay. I-44. Let's see, here's 44. And I is this guy. All right, so this guy disbands. This guy disbands. Disbanded. And like I said, it really varies by where you invade. It's covered in the advanced rules. I'll put these guys back on the order of battle later off camera. Okay. And so that's everybody. Now we're going to go through and we are going to roll to see which Italian units defect. which stay. So, or I should, yeah, defect. They defect on a 1 through 4. So I'm going to roll, unfortunately, off camera. Let's see here. Let's zoom back. You can at least see who I'm rolling for. Let me look here. Where's Rome? I got my camera set up. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Point those units out to you so you can see what's going on. So we're gonna roll first for this 118 here. I get a 5, so he disbands. He's like, I'm out of here, I'm going home. So remember, they defect on a 1 through 4. So the Ariete, and that's a 3, so he defects. And how they're gonna stay in supply, they gotta trace to, I believe, any city, but Rome is where they're going to trace to. So there's going to be some kind of fighting. So we're going to roll for this guy here. A 5, so he goes away. And I already like the way that this game introduces a little bit of variability right off the bat. We're going to roll for this guy. And a 3, so he stays. And a 2, so he stays. And a 6, so this guy goes away here. All right. So we've got 3 units that defected. They can trace supply to Rome. A major city gives no inherent terrain, but that's how they stay in supply. So let's see here. Well, may not be ideal. But let's go ahead and get on this side of the river here. I don't know if that's going to be helpful or not. Well, you got the 2nd Parachute Division right there. So let's see. We could go 1, or half, 2, and we're going to do that. I don't know. There may be a better deployment. This is a garrison unit, but within 10, they can react. And let me make sure. Let me look at the German order of battle. Make sure I know what I'm talking about. Rommel's command. Yep. So 2nd Parachute. Yeah, those are all they're all part of the garrison, except for the Fraz. He's part of Kesselring's command. You got to pay attention to that stuff. The 3rd Panzer Grenadier. Okay, so actually this unit here, let me point it out with my pencil. Kesselring's command, free to do action. Kesselring's command, free for action, garrison. So he's going to have to go to Rome. But what happens is within 10 hexes, they can go fight Italians or Allied units. So that's the end of the movement phase. So there's no combat for the Allies. I will point out one thing I didn't point out. For free setup, you got the Hermann Goering, the Nubelwerfer unit, and the 16th Panzer Division, which I placed per the article where it suggested. It actually gives a few, and Tom Olson, who's the expert on this game, wrote the article, says he never does the same thing twice. Also, in case you did miss it, I'm going to point it out one more time. Let's see here. If you look, I wrote down the hex coordinates where different cities are at. so that if you're not an expert in Italian geography, and to my Italian brothers and sisters, I apologize, I'm not. So that being said, with the 3 allied air points that I have available, can't save them from turn to turn, you need to use them. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place, let's see here. Oops. I hope I didn't move these guys too far. We're going to land 1, 2, 3. All right. We're going to place one here for defensive ability. We're going to place one here. You can only use 1 point per hex. All right. So there we go. So now it's the Germans, and I'm going to check. I don't think they get any reinforcements or anything. And they don't, using the standard order of battle. They'll get an infantry division that's going to come in on the September 3rd turn, next turn. So this is September 2nd. So the first thing they're going to do is move. So there's a bunch of garrison units up here in the north. You really can't move them out within 10. I want to check one thing here. Is this parachute division, Folsom Jogger? I think that's what this is. A garrison. Let's see. Oh, excuse me. And you just check on the order of battle here, the German order of battle. Will tell you if they're garrisons or not. And no, it's part of Kesselring's command, so he's free to move. One thing I didn't do that I probably should have done, and in fact I'm going to do that, you can open up Messina and also Taranto. And the one thing that wasn't clear to me in the rules, and I'm going to do a little more research, is if you have to use a port counter or not to open those up. It does say you can open them both up, but it doesn't talk about if you need to use a port counter or not. And what I want to look on here is, when do the Allies get more ports? You get one in October, one in November. When does the window for a second invasion open up? It actually opens up after, so I'm going to assume that, which may be a bad assumption, so if you know, I can correct it in the next video. Let me know if you have to use a port counter to open up the port. So what I'm going to do is, let me look here. If I open up Messina, it opens up the very south edge of the map. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see what I'm going to point at. And I'm going to look that rule up here really quick. I believe, just so I make sure I get the hexes right, that is in the supplemental rules for the basic game, I think. Maybe it's the fundamental rules. Let's see here. Where the hell is it? Yeah, it's in the basic rules. Messina, the Italian peninsula, can be defended, blah, blah, blah. The red port figures at the bottom are used. One turn, let's see. Subject to the red port numbers at the bottom map board, any allied unit can enter these ports. These units must be designated by placing them near the red arrows pointing to these places' names. Let's see, the Italian, blah, blah, blah. The port of Messina is just across from the toe. Either or both these ports may be opened by the Allies during the movement phase of any allied turn. And if you look in the port rules, it says you need a port marker to open them. But just not clear. I think I'm going to play that you don't need a port marker, unless you guys correct me if I'm wrong. So initial lift is 8 for Messina and 4 for Taranto. And Taranto means you can enter Y60 to Y65 inclusive, and then it opens up to 56 next turn. So 60, okay, so from here to here, and you get 4 points. Let's bring some speedsters in for the plane, couple of British armor units. Yeah, let's do a couple of British armor because there's some clear terrain up here. They go on the arrow, it says, so they will show up next turn. That's the 4 initial lift there for the Brits. And then we'll bring on, I want to open up Messina yet. Oh, excuse me. No, we're not going to open up Messina. Okay, we got a real shortage of German troops. So I think I've done everything legal so far. Boy, let's see here. I think the Germans, I'm going to do my movement. So let's do movement. All right. So first things first. Yeah, we're going to deal with these Italians that we got. So we're going to put these guys. Let's see. This one gets a little tough, I guess. As far as what side of the river are they on? I guess it doesn't matter. No, it does matter. Let's see. Thinking out loud here. What do we got? 32 minutes now. I think, let me point to where the action is going to be. Let's see what we can do. We definitely want to react the Hermann Goering Division to block the road to Naples. We're going to need to get that guy way in the south out. Figure out what we can do with him. But we got to react to these Italians. We don't have a lot of troops to do it with. So, let's see. Nobody's doubled. I haven't really looked at the CRT yet, or the step reduction table. So let's deal with the Ariete division. That's going to defend at 3, at 2. That could be a disaster, couldn't it? Let's see. 1, 3. Two to 1, huh? Ooh, that could be really bad. We don't want to do that. Well, let's do this. We're going to deal with this. How we're going to do this. We're going to, let's think about this here. We get a unit here. And we put a unit here. Really don't want to react the 16th. I want to react them south. But if I leave him there, and this guy goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll go 1 here. Give me a good attack on the Ariat. Now, German replacements are also ERATs units, which are really precious. So this may not be the best move, but I want to block the Italians from really doing anything. So let's see, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7, 8.5, 9, 10.5. We'll do that. And then these two guys will move up behind the river. That kind of cuts these guys off from doing much. And then that's going to allow me to react. Let's see what I can get going against the kind of want to counterattack, or at least keep them from Naples initially. I need to block this guy. These are Alpini and hexes, so that will help. Let's see here. So we're going to go half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5. They're in the mountains, so we are not going to go past there because we do not want to attack there. That's for sure. We got this guy and these guys. So sadly, I think we're going to have to give up on you guys. Oh boy, they're going to come on their next turn, aren't they? That's not good. 60 to 65. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12. They can almost get the phobia, I think. Well, I'm just going to have to give that up for now. I just don't have enough troops to go everywhere. I feel like I'm making a big mistake here. I'm gonna have, let me look at something really quick here. Sorry, guys. I believe I have to maintain a line across the board. Blah, blah, blah. Just reading through the victory. The basic game requirement for the Germans to maintain is also part of the advanced game 1 and 2. It is not part of game 3. Oh, okay. All right. Well, we're playing game 3, so I don't need to do that. Okay, so I don't normally you have to maintain a line across Italy or the Germans lose if you're playing game 1 or 2, but not for game 3 evidently. So, that being said, let's see. I want to move these guys. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I can do strategic movement, can I? Yes, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So I can go 16. That looks like that's about as far as that guy is going to be able to get. And I want to try to come down here and attack either here or here. So, what do I got defending here? So we're in the mountain. So they'll be doubled. 3, 6. So now it'd be 18, 19 factors. And this hex is 10. And let's see, what can I get? 7, 8. Oh boy, just short, huh? Well, maybe I won't counterattack. I really want to. That's my how do you put it? My preference, but you know, maybe that just isn't going to happen today. So I'm going to do that there. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 with the Hermann Goering and maneuver woofers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We don't want to end up adjacent. Okay. And what are we going to do with the 16th Panzer Division? I think I feel like I'm just missing out on something here because there was some fighting for Salerno, wasn't there? But I get to deal with this guy up by Rome. I'm going to send the 16th Panzer over towards Foggia. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So what I'm utilizing here, guys, is some, what's the word I'm looking for? Strategic movement. 18, 19, 20. And that may help delay 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that will help block this river because it causes a turn delay. This unit's got a Zog here, so we're good there. So it looks like the Germans have one attack on the Ariete division, which we have 6, 9. Oh wait, I get some 3 air factors in my turn, don't I? I forgot about that. Let's put those on the board. So they get 3. The Germans have 3 air factors available. And then after this, they'll get 1 a turn through 43. So, get 9. We'll go ahead and commit 1 air factor to this attack. So that'll be 10. So that'll give us an even 5 to 1 on the step reduction table. And we're going to roll a die. We want to roll low. Oh, 4. So let's see. 5 to 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to take 1 step loss. And that's going to kill the Italians. Or the Ariete division. So air comes off. It was used. I'll flip that over because I'll get to place 2 for defense. And put that over here. Now let's see here. It was not able to complete one. So what we're going to be able to do, because they had a two result, they could only satisfy one. I need to take one step loss. So I'm going to take and I'm playing the standard rules. You can choose which unit. So I will do the 3rd Panzer Grenadier Division. Let me grab my order of battle here. And the 3-4-12 is going to be replaced by a 2-3-12. So any losses that are not able to be fulfilled give me an extra movement point. You get 1 movement point. So that means I can do 1 movement point to here, down the road. And you are able to go into the river hex on a combat. And let's see, do I want to do that? Because that's going to create a combat. 9. And I can add 1 air point. So yeah, that'll be another 5 to 1. I'm going to add an air point. This is called a breakthrough, right? Because the Italians could not satisfy the losses. So we get another 5 to 1. I'm going to roll another die here. And we get a 2. So a 2 at 5 to 1 is, oh boy, look at that. I take another loss as the attacker, but I inflict 4 losses. So those 2 Italian units die. They have no inverted side per the rules. And now the 2nd Folsom Jogger Division will take a loss. Well, you know what? I could invert the Panzer Grenadiers. Doesn't really matter. Well, it does matter. But in this case, since it's a garrison, it really doesn't matter. I'll be able to, sadly, I'll have to use up some replacements if I want to build them back to full power. But that means the Italians could not satisfy, what I roll, yeah, two of the losses. So that gives me 2 more movement points. Armor would actually get an extra movement point, but these are not armor. I want to check something here. The 3rd Panzer Grenadier, is that a garrison unit? No, it's not. Well, the reason I ask is because since the 2nd Folsom Jogger is part of the garrisons, it says they have to go back to their garrison hack, so they're going to use the 2 extra movement points to go 1, 2. But I'm going to use my extra 2 movement points to go 1, 2. And I believe that that's legal per the breakthrough rules. And it's probably one of the few breakthroughs you'll see in the game. Okay, so that completes the Allied turn and the German turn 1. So we finally got this baby rolling. If I made a mistake, please let me know in the comments. Any other comments you want to make or anything, please do. And I'm going to check off on the turn record chart. That is the completion of turn 1. And the Allies have 2 accumulated replacements because they already have all 6 sitting in Sicily, and they got 2 more this turn. And the Germans have 0 accumulated replacements because with what they start off is already on the map. Okay, so that was actually pretty interesting. That was educational for me. I hope it was for you too. Hope I didn't mumble too much. And this is Mark Ruggiero, Clark Commando 1983, signing off. And we will see you next video, which will be my 5th video for this game. But we finally got the action started. All right, guys. See you next time.